The stage used to be before you're 15 or 18. Those days, you're already about to be married. These days, the stages are a bit different. What would you say is the most obvious difference for your generation as opposed to the generation of the 70s and beyond?
I'll say our mothers then cared more about, the image. I mean, I think even with the modern and the past and modern and we now, we all care about image. I think that's one problem that still stands. Image. But our mothers then cared about, keeping the home, how they would look outside, how the society would. It was more like that societal box and everything, wanting to, look a certain type of way and everything. Compared to us now, we still do care about image. Like, even when you see, we still care about and how we look, what people think of us. And, you look at us now, I think we want to look a certain way. The BBL industry is booming. And even we're thinking about, is our bum big enough? Is our breast big enough? Is our hair long enough? We still care about that as well.
But that seems to be more of a physical and personalized worry. Like you said, those days, the parents, mothers in particular, will be concerned about what actions would reflect to them from the society, Yeah. But today, yes, there's still a concern, but it's more... Do I say the word selfish? Because it's like, okay, like you said, the BBL industry is big. All the girls want to have, Coca-Cola sized bottle hips and everything. That comes naturally, by the way, if you're a Joe or a Shakiri. But, everybody seems to want to get, this. There's a lot of focus on the me part.
Yeah, I think now we're more focused on ourselves. And
why? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. You have to put yourself first. You have to you have to put yourself first. You have to love yourself. You have to focus on yourself. And not that you wouldn't focus on other people, but you can't give what you don't have. So it's almost like you feel in yourself before you can pour out. Then they had to go through a lot of sacrifices that most of them were not even happy doing, but just so that, the family doesn't say they can't keep a home or they're not doing well, But now we know better. Our mental health, so we want to take care of ourselves and make sure we are fine. And I think that's where you even say you have evolved, is when you're not thinking about, what people think, or if you're failing, you're just doing you, and just so long as you're doing what works, what makes you happy, and you're not hurting anybody.
But isn't there a danger in that notion that, okay, the individual, right? And I'm not just saying as the woman now, as a modern African, but isn't there a danger in the person saying, oh, I'm doing me, just do you, boo-boo, like we like to hear. And, okay, it's fine. But what if you doing you is going to harm you in the long run? I
mean, that's where wisdom comes in. And that's when at the end of the day, you're also being careful about the kind of things you're doing.
So where is wisdom going to come from if the young people don't like what the old people used to do?
I mean, we're not going to totally scrap out what the old people used to do. We're just changing and tweaking things that they used to do that, wouldn't work on the long run. And we've looked into it and we've seen that these things, they affected them in some way, because you end up having daughters that are bitter, having daughters that are, I mean, you find people going through divorces, like children going through divorces, but don't have divorce experience. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, basically they see these things, they understand, they're watching. So, and they're saying, so you want to not hurt people. So when these women, or when these daughters, see all these things, and they move on to hurt, pour in what they've collected from and they just keep damaging, and you find that with children and adults, it affects the marriage or whatever relationship they go into, and they've not totally healed, and it just keeps going.
It is a cycle. I think a lot of people who are listening probably share that same sentiment, that yes, hurt people, and it's a cycle. But before we go on this break, and this is probably one of those big ones, all right, BBL,
It's not a bad thing.
I'm not saying I'm not saying BBL is a bad thing. Although doctor says it's the most dangerous operation, but BBL a lot of focus on the outward appearance, and it seems as though there's not a lot of focus on the character building. So I'm not going to say that women should be stuck in the kitchen. Heavens forbid that. But whilst we want women to be in these spaces, what exactly is the character of the modern Nigerian woman?
I feel I think that's part of it. I mean, you're also learning to, I don't know, and that's why I said hot people is a circle. So, like, so you're a product of environment. Also, what you're picking up in the environment, you're hoping that the parents are also influencing whatever they're doing. Is influencing the child, and the child becomes a good citizen and affects the world positively. So, we know now. I would say, to also, as much as we're looking at the outward, to also try to look inward, build character and represent well.
Okay, all right. Building character, representing well. That's what Chineye is saying. That yes, times have changed. The modern Nigerian woman has evolved. Yes, they are focusing a lot on the beauty. Once again, it comes natural for Ijo women. Yeah. Okay. All right. Keep it real, my just sisters. All right. While others want to, augment. But when we come back, we'll focus a lot more on the trends, right, that we see amongst the modern Nigerian female, modern Nigerian woman. We'll open the phone lines. We'll get our guests to indulge us, in their own views. But before I do that, now you're an author. Give me. How many books have you written? How many have you published? Two. Yeah. Okay. All right. And what is your forte? What is your genre of writing? Are you fiction? Do you like to write love stories? What kind of books do you like to write?
Fiction, and I'm interested in women as well, and the life of women, and what affects them. So fiction and a bit of life experiences and things that have to do with women.
Would it be fair that a lot of your material is personal experience?
It's like the second book I've written is a collection of short stories. So it's a bit of me in every story.
I've started to read the book, by the way. I'll give you my personal view later on when we are done. But I'm curious, some of those things are your personal experiences?
Like a bit of, I wouldn't say a story that is my personal story. Yeah, you just find, and I think every other woman would relate to that because they find themselves in a bit of all that stories. So.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So we'll go on a break. When we come back, you can start to send us your messages as you join in the conversation. The number to send your message to is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. Once again, 0809 030 6416. We're talking about the modern Nigerian woman. Do you agree with my guess? Says there's an evolution. Things have obviously changed. They're not caged as they were before. They're not in that box stereotype that you must fit into what society says. It's all about them filling up and pouring what they do know, which is they're trying to fix themselves. I need to do me. Get more of me, and then I can be able to be a contributor in society. Do you see that with the modern Nigerian woman? Well, we'll find out after the break. Stay tuned right here on 92.3 Nigeriainfo's Hello Port Harcourt. We're asking you to join in the conversation this morning. Now, it's all about women and Nigerian women in particular. Just in case you missed it, my guest this morning is Chineye. She is an author, a commentator, and also a nurse. And I'm going to ask her, where does she find the time to not just be a nurse, that's a healthcare professional, and also find time to express herself, like she said, with writing. All right, so we get to talk about that very shortly. But this morning, we're looking at the modern African woman. And my question, it's on Facebook, so get on Facebook, right? Is this? It's a very simple one. Do you think the modern Nigerian woman is still a homemaker? Now, we've listened to Chineye. She said, look, things have changed. Evolution is occurring. There's no stopping it, right? We may not be doing the same things the way our mothers did them, but we're doing them with the same intention. We're just doing it differently. Do you agree with her? Now, we're going to talk a little bit about some trends this morning, and now we'll get my guest, like I said, who's an author, to wade in on the matter. As always, when I ask you to call in, please do well. Turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear, please do not make mention of it. And very importantly, keep your conversations civil.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
All right, Chineye, once again, good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, Chineye. So let's get straight to it, all right? We only have just 20 minutes, and we're going to open the phone lines. Now, we're going to get some responses, all right? This one says, Jude, good morning. Please, ask this your guest. She is an author, Abi. She's written books, Abi. Would she say that it's easier for a single woman or a married woman to carry out these tasks as a Nigerian, or if the person was outside? Chineye, what do you think?
I mean, like I said earlier, I think that's where people delegate, and that's one thing we're not doing before as our mothers. I don't think did enough. I think they carried on things, shouldered on things just to look good, just to appear, as the mother of the year, but the
superwoman,
yeah. But now we know to delegate things. We can't do everything, so they're professionals now. You can, hire a call to do certain things while you do the rest so that you don't break down. Okay. All
right. Now, let's talk a little bit about trends. Now, you live in the modern world. You are dressed very modernly. You know exactly what it looks like, or what it looked like back in the 70s or 80s with the way, dressing and fashion was. But let's look at modern Nigeria, right? You've moved around Port Harcourt. You see all the girls, all right? How would you say these young women, how would you say they are representing, quote unquote, womanhood with the bomb shots, in public, I was telling you off the microphone, the no bra thing, when people go, when girls are in supermarket, the big watering holes, there's a lot of, no bra wear. We've had conversations about this, all right? And then, a lot of people are, but, with all of this perception.
We still have decent ones. I mean, but a lot of people, maybe the weather also plays a role. I think, but we overdo these things. That's the thing.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I think we copy and then overdo it, even more than the people that maybe started it. So, yeah, that's what I think.
It's all too much for you. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, we're going to open the phone lines shortly. Now, before I do that, Chineye, of all the things you've experienced so far as a Nigerian and somebody who's lived, probably visited other countries, what would you say right now that the modern Nigerian woman is doing pretty well?
I think we're representing now as women, modern women, in our places of work. I mean, I know that's one thing that we've always wanted to, be given equal opportunities in a place of work. If a boy can go to school, a woman should be able to go to school. Or, if we can get that role, a woman should also get that good role, so long as they qualify for it. So I think I would say that's where we're doing well now. We're representing at a place of work, and even at home, we're doing a lot at our place of work at home. And yeah.
Okay. All right. So Chineye thinks that the modern Nigerian woman is doing pretty well, representing at the home, taking care of the home front, and also, conquering, the corporate world. We know there are bankers.
Even most of the known, Konji,
Iwela,
are really representing us well.
All right. Yeah. So you guys join the conversation. All right. The question still remains, all right? Do you think the modern Nigerian is still a homemaker? My guess basically says yes. Yes, evolution has happened, but, they're representing both at home and in the office. But what say you? All right, let's get the phone lines up and active. 08179230002. 08179230007. 08179230002. 08179230007. All right. At Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. As always, please, once again, turn down the volume of your radio set when you call in. Please, it's imperative that you do so. Turn down the volume of your radio set when you call in. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear, please. All right? Don't make mention of it. All right? So we can have a decent conversation. Now, there's a very interesting comment here, all right, on Facebook. Chineye, this is from Tochukwu. It says, "Hello, Janet. How can the children that experience divorce be healed?"
I think we have a good thing now, and that's one thing we didn't have before, is therapy. Therapy, talking to professionals. We have there's a lot of awareness now on these things, to go through and just being able to talk to someone about it. Someone, not just anybody, obviously. People would use that against you. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but talk to the right, people, and that's where we have professionals and therapy. And some people say mindfulness and yoga and all these things help a bit. But yeah.
Do you do yoga?
No.
Oh, you don't do yoga.
I exercise.
I tried yoga once. It nearly broke my spine.
Oh, no.
Not very flexible, but yeah, I think yoga is good. Don't pay not much mind to Chineye and I. But the truth is, you really need a certain level of flexibility to get the very best out of yoga. Now, speaking of healing, you are in the healthcare business. That's what we'll say. Maybe your 9 to 5, for example. All right. How do you balance being a nurse and being a homemaker, or for anybody who's like that? Because we grew up, I know a lot of Nigerians grew up having their mothers as nurses, but what I hear these days is that some of these nurses are doing as long hours a shift as doctors are doing these days.
12 hours.
Yeah. How are they able to find the balance?
That's one. I think you said superhumans or superwoman.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, to be honest, managing that and keeping a home together. I watch my friends that are mothers. I don't know how they juggle these things, but somehow they juggle these things. And most of them are not even lucky enough to have support. Maybe husbands that would maybe help with some of the chores or some of the things, and I think that's where, there's a divide, there's a problem. But yeah, it's not easy, but delegate. You can't do it all.
Okay, delegate. You can't do it. Okay. If there's anything you take away from this conversation today, ladies and gentlemen, it has to be delegate. As a young man, delegate. You can't do it all. We have a caller from...
And ask for help when you
ask for help, right?
When you need
okay.
help.
Savior is speaking to us from Bayelsa. Savior, good morning to you. Oh dear. Sorry, that's a drop call scenario. Savior, apologies. Had nothing to do with us, but I think I have to take the blame because you did try to call us. So please do try to call the number again: 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. All right, Savior, or anybody who's trying to get to us. Savior, I'm interested because you were speaking to us from Bayelsa, so it'd be good to get to hear you join us. Michael Ekene is saying, welcome, pretty chi. Do you get these comments a lot? Have you been getting these comments a lot?
Yeah, I mean, as women, you would get comments like that.
Okay, now, no, wait, hold on, Chineye. Wait, so let's now talk about these comments for the modern Nigerian woman. All right, now in those days it was very difficult. We used to call it toasting. Do they still call it toasting?
I mean, we still do call it. Yeah.
Oh, people still call it toasting.
Choking, toasting. They're different names for this.
Okay, so in those days, right? Yes, maybe it's the feminine movement. A lot of people are talking about. I know the woman can also ask out. When you speak to your friends, Chineye, let's get toasted, or are they the ones toasting the guys?
Well, I would say luckily, but the friends I have still do it the traditional way.
So they have not evolved.
No, they allow the guys. I mean, they're hunters.
Who's the hunter?
The man.
The man is a hunter.
You can just make it so easy. You allow him chase a bit, and
what makes you think it's easy?
You make it easy. They don't understand. They don't value when they get the prize.
Okay. Wait. So let me hear. So let's a hypothetical scenario. Me now. Now I have to be honest. I think I have been approached. Maybe twice. I'm talking about serious. Oh, Jude, I like you. I want to be in a type serious relationship twice, right? And I didn't feel like, okay, this person is not worth it. Right? Unfortunately, like I said earlier, the person wasn't the kind of person I liked. We eventually became friends, right? But nothing. I never looked at her any less because she, approached me. But it seems as though on particularly on social media, when you get to have these people talk Nigerian, they say no, a good Nigerian woman should not approach a man.
I wouldn't say a good Nigerian. It doesn't make you not good. I mean, it works out for a lot of people that maybe make the first move. Okay. But for my data, I mean, I've not done research, but I know that it works out more when the man makes the move. I mean, you make the move and they just out of pity say, "Oh yeah, let's go with the flow."
What do you mean out of pity?
They don't want to hurt your feelings. I mean, she's made that move.
But there are lots of girls who also accept, guys out of pity, right?
I mean, both ways, fine. But I personally would prefer that the man comes for you and does the work. Yeah, and then they value when I feel like when you put in effort into something, you value it more than when you just get it on a platter of gold. So.
Okay. Oh, all right. So they'll value you. All right. Now, is the modern Nigerian woman still the home keeper? Well, let's get here to WhatsApp. All right. James here says, good morning. I like to think the modern Nigerian woman hasn't caught up with what the modern world is actually doing. We still have women who are still very traditional in their approach. Forget all those schools that they go to and all the things that they do. The modern Nigerian woman, most of them will still be subjugated by an African man. And that is where we still have a huge problem. James is saying. Do you agree with James?
Not completely. Like I said, our mothers did a good job then, but we're tweaking and changing things and making life better. You can't do it all. You can't. You find that they did a lot of sacrifice, which is good. But I mean, now if you have ways to do things better, why stick to the old way when you can improve?
Okay, all right. Yeah. Why stick to the old ways when you can improve? Jude, please ask your guest. Is it really a good thing for a woman to work as hard and as long as a man, even if the man can provide? I see a lot of women who want to have great careers, and they're doing so to the detriment of the family.
I don't think women naturally want to keep working and over.
Women in the banks these days, I
think the explanations to that. Maybe, I mean, it depends on the dynamic at home.
Okay.
So if you're dealing with someone who doesn't have a job,
but this person saying, look, they have a job, but the woman is apparently wanting to, as well, outdo and go all the way in the career or something.
I think there should be balance at the end of the day, but I think most of the time the reasons why you find this is depending on how the thing started from the beginning. But yeah, there should be balance. Have time for the family, have time for the kids, and also achieve what you want to achieve. Be the best version of yourself. I think there should be a balance, but I don't think most of that happens because, well, most women just want to work. Maybe that's a way of healing.
Okay.
Maybe that's a way of forgetting things.
Maybe they're passionate about that.
Maybe they're passionate as well about it.
Okay, all right. Let's get here very quickly. 923, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Oh dear. Oh, having a very torrid time with the phone lines. But keep trying. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. All right, now I'm going to come back and bring our conversation to a more personalized angle now, Chineye. So you've written 2 books, you've had them published. Okay, I'm actually reading one now. Before we go, I'll please ask you to share your social media handles and details so people can probably follow you and see what you are up to this day and age. But of all the books and the endeavors that you have, waded in, which has been the most difficult, most challenging?
For writing, I would say that's like I would say maybe a hobby, but I would say the job at the time
as a nurse. Right?
Yes, it can be very, very exhausting. You love it, but depending on the location, like I'm talking of where I am and where I work and everything, and how the hours I also work. We all want that softness. So working. As I said, not everybody actually wants to.
Give an average. How many hours do you put in a day or a week?
So you work 12 hours, 4 days. So you're exhausted half of the time.
12 hours?
Yeah.
4 days?
Yeah. But
But okay, so 4 days, so that means you have like 3 days to yourself.
But you find that even 2 days, you're still on your bed because you're exhausted. And it depends on the kind of work you do at your workplace as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I love it. It's just... It's very busy.
It's very busy.
It's very busy.
It takes a lot from you.
Yeah.
Now, if it's taking that much from you, I have to ask again, where in all of good heavens do you find the time to write these books?
Well, you have days off, like we said. You have annual leaves, So when you have those free time, it's a way of relaxing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a way of, it's just, how people, when you say what do you do for fun, yeah, that's the kind of thing. So
okay, all right. Now, so we've been very blessed, particularly in this state, to have some very notable authors and writers. Elichi Amadi, for example, is a very prominent name that comes through whenever anybody thinks about Niger Delta and River State. The late Ken Saro-Wiwa also pops up. Do you see yourself, making a name for yourself in the literary sense? Would you like to get to that? Would you like to be like maybe the next Harry Potter writer? What's her name? Her name escapes my mind right now. Yeah. But
I get what you're saying.
Is that what you want? This is just a hobby for now.
I mean, that's the goal. To be globally recognized. To make impacts. At the end of the day, you want someone reading and you and they tell you that this affected me this way, changed my life, or it did this for me, or I realized a lot. It's just basically impacts. You want to make sure that you leave. Is it what they call immortality or something?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you want to be immortal.
That kind of thing.
Get to that level of immortality.
Yeah, where you're able to be remembered for something. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you've written 2 books. So that means we should be hearing more about you in the coming weeks, maybe years.
Yeah.
Okay. But how do you deal with writer's block?
You mean the comment or
no? Writers have this thing that the ideas are not coming. They can't pen things down. You're trying to be creative every day. a lot of people don't realize that what we do every day, there's a lot of reading, there's a lot of writing, and some days it's just like, I don't really give a crap right now. So how do you handle that? Because you are definitely asking people to use their imagination when they read your book. So how do you, when you can't even create, what do you do?
It's okay when you at the moment are not able to. Just take it one step at a time. You can't create I would say manuscript, but you can't do, when you're not, you're not able to get ideas or anything. It works different for different people. Some people do exercise and they find that when they maybe watch the ocean, ideas come in. So you just find what works for you, and it's okay when you can't think at the moment or gather ideas or create anything at the moment. Just don't be too hard on yourself. Just take it easy. Okay,
so Brown on WhatsApp says, good morning, please. I want to ask Chineye, what's the secret behind our mothers those days who had 6, 8 children without house helps, and they were able to do all the house chores and still serve their husband when he came back from the farm, still take care of the children. At night, he will still perform her wifely duties. What's the secret and why is it different now?
It's still the same. It's just that we've found a way to make it easier for ourselves.
Really?
There are a lot of women now that still juggle all these things. Even now, even internationally, where you don't even have that kind of support for someone to come and stay with you. And they find a way to do all this. But if you can get help, why not?
Okay. Chineye say, if you can get help, why not? All right, this one says, Nalayo, those so-called modern Nigerian women are a disaster because they prefer Instagram, the fake backside. I'm very busy right now to type up. Michael says. Anyway, we're about to wrap up this morning. 4 lines. We'll probably take this call right now. But Chineye, what are your social media handles, please?
For Instagram, it's Miss CJ, MIZCJAY.
Okay. Could you say that again, please?
MIZCJAY.
Okay. All right. So that's how they can follow you on Instagram.
Yeah.
What are the social platforms?
Facebook is my full name, Janet Chineye Easy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best with the books, both now and in the future. All right.
Thank you.
Do remember us. Well, we'll put our brakes on at the moment, and some of you don't agree that the modern Nigerian woman is keeping a home. Chineye says, well, they are now inventive and creative in doing so. Well, only time will tell, as they say. All right, do have yourself a wonderful day. And don't forget, after the news by 12 noon, the sunny side of conversations comes up your alleyway.